Hi everyone, welcome to devlog number 8. This week I have another demo for you. I'm going to show off the implementation of the missions and some assets I've been working on, and some other stuff. Let's get into it. So preparing for this devlog, on the surface it didn't look like I've done that much, but I've actually done a lot of small things in different areas. I've also reworked and refactored some of the core mechanics. So for instance, I got the feedback on the last devlog that the text wasn't that readable. So instead of having only this capitalized version, I also made this lowercase version, which will be used for these wall of texts. I've also implemented the hints. So now you can see that this particular hint I have discovered, I've asked around, and the hint tells me there is going to be an assault during the mission. So that will give me an indication that I should bring weapons and a crew that is useful for that sort of an interaction. This other hint here, I know that there is information to be gathered in Kang Zoo, and that whole mechanic is something that I will focus on next week. This last hint I haven't found out anything about. Otherwise, it looks the same. You can see that this particular hint says that it's going to be an assault, but the overall mission type is infiltration. This is the general indication of what the mission is going to be mostly about, which can include some other narration types. Given this information for this particular mission, I can probably guess that both of these will be infiltration based. Going into the inventory, I've updated it. Instead of having grouped inventory, I made it so that it's one list, which you can group yourself. And I've also added this hover or click interaction, so you can see more stats about your crew and gear. Also, you can see here that an example of a gear that is mapping to the mission. So I can presume that this gear will be very useful during this mission. So let's drag that into my inventory. Now returning to Milo's Landing. I've also added some location assets. These are the only two I have done so far. And now I have also implemented so each settlement will have unique locations. Before, all the locations were generated randomly and they were generic cantinas or trading posts. Now there will be specific to the settlement. So here you can see in Milo's Landing you have Milo's Bar. And if I enter Milo's Bar, you can see now I have added the staff NPCs. Here's Milo, a civilian, and he's the owner of the bar. So here is where you can ask for mission information. And that is something I will get to next week. Otherwise, it works the same. I can drag and drop. Now let's enter the mission. So here I get the same information as before. I see my mission particular inventory, and now I've also added so you can add to inventory in this screen. So here I want to add this bounty hunter because I think he will be useful during the assault. I will also add this special agent because he's good at infiltration, and I will add this scout. Let's continue. So now I'm in the narration. I showed it off last week, but now something actually will happen when I perform the narration. So here's the narration corresponding to this hint. So I know it's going to be an assault narration. Therefore, I'm going to use my bounty hunter for that. And I might add my special agent as well. Let's proceed. So that went pretty well. Here I see that each of my members received some experience, and I can also see some indication of the HP they lost. And here's the HP bar. So now I move on to we need to search the area in order to find anything useful. This is presumably an infiltration. So now I'm going to use my scout, even though he's a bit wounded. I think I'm comfortable that both these two will get the job done. So let's proceed. They got hurt a bit, but they are still alive, and I received some XP. And these experience will also go to my experience. And lastly, I want to use my scout because he has a little bit more HP, and I will also use this infiltration gear. So let's proceed. And in the mission summary, you can see that I gained a total of 90 XP. And here's where all the crew that are still alive receive their cut of the mission score, which ends up giving me this much. And that's a mission performed. So if I go into my inventory, you can see that the lasting consequences of the mission was that they are hurt. And that's a mechanic I still haven't implemented, but you are going to have power-ups that you can add to your crew members. That's what I want to show you this week. So like I said, it doesn't look much on the surface, but a lot of good progress this week. Next week, I will implement the staff interaction. I will also include the alignment into the mission outcome. I will also look at the power-ups. And one other thing that I'm going to focus on next week is to add more assets into the game. Regarding next week's devlog, I'm going to make the effort of recording my progress during the week so you can follow along on my ups and downs in real time. Early last week I saw Cop Car from 2015 with Kevin Bacon, which I enjoyed a lot. An intense thriller of the same director behind the last two Spider-Man movies. Definitely deserving a watch. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.